Hi, I'm Ryan, and today I'm at the More Expo. I'm with Juniper Overland. I'm standing here with Dylan. He drove all the way from Colorado with the Tacoma and Yoho. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but also we have a super cool tuck cut here on a Gladiator with tons of amazing upgrades that you guys are gonna wanna see. And we also have some awesome features on the Olympic that most of you have never seen. So we're gonna get to those, but we're gonna start with this Yoho Tacoma combination. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit about maybe the miles per gallon and how you set this Yoho up on a Tacoma?
Yeah, absolutely. So normally this truck is driving around with a rooftop tent or possibly without that rooftop tent. It's also on 34-inch tires, and it's got about a 2-inch lift. So I was already getting, let's say, 15, 16 miles per gallon normal driving around the city. That was combined for both highway and city miles. Now, when you start to put in the Yoho into this truck, one, because of its weight, and two, obviously because of the wind drag, you start to lose a little bit of miles per gallon. Not a huge hit though. I was averaging in sort of ideal conditions, around 11 to 12 miles per gallon, eking out 13 if I was really good, about staying around 65 miles an hour. Now the Tacoma already is not a powerful truck, and I can say that as an owner of them. So it's not always going to be the fastest way to get there, but that's not the point. I mean, you're trying to enjoy the trip, enjoy the travel, see what you see as you go along. And for me, 65, 70 miles an hour cruising easily, without killing the gas mileage, definitely is okay. Now, when we got some headwind in Kansas, different story. You're getting close to about 8 or 9. Totally acceptable. Something I completely expect when you're hitting 35 mile per hour gusts. That's pretty good. But when it comes to suspension, we did a little bit of upgrading with it. It does have Toy-Tech shocks in the rear, so you get a little bit of better ride quality. But really, it's about payload, obviously, with this setup. So there are Dakar HD 1,000-pound leaf springs, as well as the Timbren SES spring helpers. Those are the really critical piece to this whole thing, especially when you don't have the camper in there. It is nice to have only upgraded leaf pack, and then when you actually toss in the camper, it is able to ride on those Timbrens. Great ride quality, in all honesty. I kind of joke around with everybody that the truck ride quality is better with the camper on there because it actually has weight, and otherwise I'm kind of bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's actually much more enjoyable, frankly, to drive with the camper. And
Cool.
nothing beats a Scout Yoho.
Right on. So yeah, again, I'm an advocate for the airbags, but Juniper likes the Timbrens. But anyways, that's
We
all
like
good.
static. We
There
like
you go.
static, yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna jump over here in a second to John here. We got John. He owns a Gladiator, super cool setup with a tuck tut on top. And so John's done some really cool things. We'll get him to just chat briefly maybe here about, installing this AluCab box, the propane. He's got a custom water storage in there and a full queen pull-out bed. So John, show us a little bit about your tuck tut here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. So I have the gasoline version, and just some of the specs on the truck before we put the tuck tut in is I have a 3-inch AEB high capacity lift. We did upgrade the rear sway bar to a Hellrig rear sway bar to take care of a little bit of the swaying. This thing has stayed completely planted on the highway. Crosswinds and everything else, 70 miles an hour. Didn't notice a thing. We don't actually have any of the Timbrens on this truck right now just because the way it sits. We have a good 4 inches between the bump stops and axles, so it is handling perfectly. I am also re-geared to 513s, so we were talking gas mileage a little bit earlier, and I was roughly getting, before the camper, 14.5 miles to the gallon. With the camper on at 70 miles an hour coming out here, saw 8th gear and running about 12.5 miles to the gallon. So completely same as when I've had other setups on here, but just way more comfortable now in a 4-sided camper. But as far as my tuck tut, we've done a few custom things. As you know, these come as a shell, and so you get to add your own little touches to it. So on my camper here, I've added a hot water shower box up top right now with a Camplux hot water exchange heater in there. We've put the propane right below it for easy hookup as well as cooking outside of the vehicle. We plan on putting a propane line through the vehicle, but for now we can either go through the window or go around to the door if we wanted to cook inside. Everything's mounted with rubber bumpers for isolation of all these components. That way we're not messing up the clear coat or anything like that on the camper, and it's just keeping everything super solid and waterproof. As the rubber compresses, we keep a watertight seal. So have the shower box, have the propane, have an external water fill, which you're going to see in a minute what this feeds. Really cool in the inside. And then we have a gravity-fed water spigot here as well from Front Runner that goes to the tank. So let me show you the tank on the inside here. We have a 12-gallon custom water tank. Fits perfectly underneath the kitchen. Doesn't take up any space. If anything, it actually creates a little bit better usable space here. So it goes up to a Dometic pump, which goes into the Scout optioned galley, kitchen galley for it. So a little bitty line over here that goes outside for the spigot, and then keeping an extra couple gallons on tap here in the Rotopaxes. But yeah, and then actually what you can see up top too, you'll see kind of a header there on the bed that doesn't look standard, and that is a full slide out. So that becomes a full queen size bed, and the 4 Scout Tuck provided cushions fit perfectly across the back, and so you have a full queen size mattress.
This thing's so awesome. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing this with us.
appreciate it.
I love this
Thank
thing.
you.
So we're gonna go inside here with Nate. We're gonna check with this Olympic. On this Olympic camper here, we got some super cool things. We got a nice rack. We got custom electrical in here, National Luna stuff, a Propex heater. So I'm gonna let Nate talk about this Olympic a bit and what Juniper's done to this camper.
Yeah. Hey everyone. So this is our 24 Olympic, and kind of the idea behind this build was to keep it super simple, really durable, with some good like quality of life upgrades in it. So on the outside, we're running a 270-degree awning from Alucab. One of the strongest, easiest to use, most durable solutions for getting some shade and some weather protection on the camper. We're also running a Propex forced air furnace in here, just a little bit of a different option than the diesel heater. Similar sort of performance, but simplifying fuel sources a little bit in the camper. On the inside, we have a really simple but really easy to use power system in here. We are doing DC to DC charging and solar charging from National Luna, and we're just running a simple Group 31 AGM battery. That's plenty of capacity to keep your phones charged and keep your fridge going pretty much indefinitely. We're also running a dual zone 60-liter National Luna fridge in here. That is definitely our preferred brand for keeping your food and your beverages cold and ready to go when you're out there on the trail. On this side of the camper, we've got an Alucab shower cube. This thing's great for getting some extra privacy, another room, a place to change, a place to set up a portable toilet, and just keep that kind of thing out of the living space. And then one of my favorite upgrades, we have a camp table from Alucab. This thing pulls out in a matter of seconds and sets up for cooking outside, even setting tools on for working on the vehicle or skis or bikes or anything like that. And this is, for me, this is kind of a must-have.
Yeah, cool. One more thing on this camper that we, thank you Nate for that, we didn't touch on here is you can see this custom mount here, or hitch mount, so we can put a spare tire or bikes or things like that on this hitch. So this is an awesome feature. A lot of people are looking for places to store their bikes or spare tire. So Juniper Overland can do that for you, but this also has a backup camera. So they've installed a backup camera onto this. So if you're backing up into spots, super easy to add this thing, just plugs in. Nice, easy solution for a backup camera. But thanks again to the Juniper team for showing off the campers and for this video, and thank you for watching.